So Achilles has finally joined the battleground of the gods, and he is honestly insane. He hits way too hard and his scaling is amazing. Plus he's a warrior with an execute, so what could possibly go wrong? Anyways, there's a certain build that I think really works well with this guy, but I'm going to get into that in just a few seconds. Well, time's up. Let's get into the build. Basically, I've found that Achilles is really just a hybrid bruiser to a T. He needs to do damage. If he can get you into that execute threshold, he's just going to kill you, and he certainly can get you into the execute threshold. So let's talk about it. To start the game, I find it's really important in every single game mode to get Warrior Blessing. It's broken, it makes you tanky, and that allows you to go into your damage passive. Basically, his passive is broken up into two parts, and you click in Fountain to change between the two, but you're spending pretty much the entirety of early game in this damage passive because, well, there's no real damage on the enemy team for you to worry about. Now, alongside with the Warrior's Blessing, you want to make sure that you are starting to build Stone of Gaia. Stone of Gaia on this character is actually pretty stupid because he's very hard to hit. Basically, his 3 gives you 2 small dashes as long as you're hitting an enemy god in between, and honestly, this makes him incredibly hard to hit. You can dodge abilities in split seconds, you can do insane damage with it, but basically, as you're going and fighting, they aren't going to be hitting you, and the Stone of Gaia health regen is going to restore any damage that you're taking. Plus, if they actually do manage to hit you with a knockup or something, you're just going to get another insane heal out of it. Build Stone of Gaia. So after Stone of Gaia, you're getting your boots. On this character, you are building Warrior Tabby because honestly, you don't need auto attacks. He has insane ability scaling, and that is what we're focusing on. And then after boots, you are going to start building into defense. Now, I know on screen I have Mystical Bale built, and it's certainly not a bad option because, again, you are weaving through traffic and, like, you can't get hit, and you're going to get a lot of Mystical Bale damage off. But I find it's way more potent to do something a little bit different. So Achilles really gets shut down by hard CC, more so than other characters in the game because he's all about weaving and doing damage. He is a bruiser. So I find it's important that we minimize the damage that CC causes, so we're going to be building into both Hide of the Urchin for the insane base stats that it has, and then we're also going to be picking up Spirit's Robe because that just flat out makes it harder to kill him if he's CC'd. And that's honestly all the defense that you really need as this character. Again, I can't stress this enough, he's agile as hell. So you want to make sure you're using that agility. Use those dashes. Pop his 2. That 1 has a 1.5 second stun, and since you're going to be maxing that first, you're going to be able to apply that stun incredibly easily. He's just so much fun. Anyways, to round out the remainder of this build, you want to build items that have defensive stuff, but with offensive capability. And as such, the most important item, in my opinion, on Achilles is Masamune, because it gives you 50 power, which scales really well into his abilities, but it also gives you some movement speed and an aura so that whenever you're around enemies and like diving, you also gain some protections. That is an Achilles item to a T. Now to finish off the build, there's just 3 items that you should build in different situations, but to say them really quick, if the Hunter's insane, build Hide of the Nemean Lion. If the Mage is insane, build Genji's Guard. And if anything else is going on in the game and you're like ahead or even, build Brawler's Beat Stick because you could shut down Stone of Gaia healing, among other things, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the build. Yet here we are, only halfway done with the video, so what is there left to talk about? Well, we have to talk about how you can apply this damage because the build's only going to make you survive. You still have to go and know what the abilities do, and I haven't specifically explained the abilities because I'm going to link to the patch notes down in the description, but there's still a lot that you should know or you should be able to do, so I'm going to give you some tips and tricks about combat with Achilles. Now, realizing that this makes me sound like a broken record, I will say that he is agile as hell and you want to use that. So when you're going, I recommend engaging with a dash on the 3 because you can get in close, hit an opponent, and then you still have another dash within the next 5 or so seconds that you can use to either escape or continue pressing the attack. Now, just like with Nemesis Dash or Xing Chen Dash, you can use other stuff in between these dashes. So I dash, hit with the 3 to reset it, and then I'm going to stun the mage. This character isn't honestly great at shutting down tanks and warriors, but hell does he shut down the squishies. He hits like a truck. Now, outside of that, I personally struggle with this too, but you want to make sure that you are proccing that second ability before you go and start diving. Basically, his second ability is a sustain. As long as you're hitting abilities, you heal a little bit. So make sure you're using that, because honestly, there's been a lot of situations where I probably would have survived way longer if I would have just remembered to proc my second ability. So make sure you're using it. It's great. Now finally, the last thing I'm going to touch on is the first ability and then ultimate. So his first ability has a close range stun. That's great. It also does a lot of damage. Also great. His fourth ability is an execute. It's like a 30% HP execute. It's insane. Now, you can training wheels them, and what that means is set up your own abilities by stunning them, getting them to execute threshold, and then using the execute. Now, my last and probably most important tip is don't think you need to use the ultimate to execute. It does way more than that. It's a really long dash. You can use it to escape. You can use it to just do a lot of damage. It's awesome. So yeah, that's my day one guide on Achilles. Let me know what you think about Achilles in the poll question in the top right corner. Anyways, this is Keltick, signing off. Have yourselves a casual day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.